Welcome to How to Create an Online Course in 6 Weeks or Less. So this is an actual workshop, and we're going to be covering 4 basic topics here. And we have a little, work for you to do so that you can get this information from out of your mind and onto a piece of paper or a laptop or iPad or somewhere. So the first thing we're going to cover is uncovering your genius or your superpower. Okay. And this will help you to decide like what course should I create or what product should I create? And this is, of course, one of the most important things to do is you have to start here, right? In order to know where you're going to go. The second thing is choosing your niche and validating your idea. So you want to know, like, not so wide, like, I'm going to help all the people in the world. No, that's too big, right? You want to narrow that niche down to something that's actually someone that you can help and that they'll hear your message. And then we're going to validate whether someone will actually pay you for your stuff. The third thing we're going to cover is identifying your ideal client. And this we call build your business bestie, right? Because knowing your ideal client, knowing who to speak to is an important part of creating an online course or any kind of a business. And the fourth thing we're going to cover is getting started for free. How's this possible? Well, we teach you how to sell your course or your program before you even build it on platforms that cost little or no money. Okay, so that's really good. And then, of course, we'll cover what's next. So, are we ready? We're going to uncover your genius, your superpower. And we're just going to have you, if you have a piece of paper, if you want to go old school, if you have a laptop, iPad, your phone, your Apple Watch, whatever it is, we just want a place for you to be able to jot some things down. We're going to answer these questions now, jot down some ideas, and then we're going to give you like 5 minutes to sort of put them all together. Okay, so first question is, what have you been complimented on? Like, I don't know, going throughout your day, like people say, like, wow, like, I love the way you've made up your eyes, right? Or, oh my gosh, you have the most beautiful flowers and the front of your house looks like amazing. It's so welcoming. Or maybe someone has said to you, like, I love the way you take that book and explain it in such a way that's so easy. So what is it that you've been complimented on, like, throughout your day? Jot down a few of those ideas. I know there's people that compliment you on things. Don't judge, right? Don't say, I don't believe it, it's not true. No, we're just no judgments here. We're taking just the information and we're writing it down. So the second question is, what have others said that you do well or are good at, right? Wow, you're like amazing at making brownies. I mean, I have never tasted a brownie as good as yours, right? Or like you play the children's songs so well that the kids just love listening and singing to them, right? Or maybe it is that you're so good at, you know, whipping up a dinner party at short notice or crocheting a beautiful pillow. Maybe you can decorate take somebody's like living room that looks okay and you can turn it into something amazing, right? Maybe you decorate a Christmas tree, like just like people are amazed at how beautiful it looks. What is it that people say you're good at? And jot down a few ideas. Then what comes easy to you yet seems difficult for others? Like, for example, I have a sister who does bookkeeping and counting, and she is really good with numbers. And I am not really good with numbers. But to her, it's like easy. To me, it's like she said, it's like brain surgery, right? So what is it that you have that comes easy to you that seems difficult for others? For example, I can whip up a presentation, right? I can create documents and slides, and I mean, I can do it really quickly and sort of seamlessly, and it's easy for me. So I just think everyone can do it, but not everyone can do that, right? But to me, it's like, what's the big deal? So what is it like that for you that comes easy to you and is difficult for others? And jot down some ideas. And number 4, what have people told you to monetize, like produce or turn into a service or a product, like, or a business? So people say, like, I mean, you have the most beautiful garden. You have the most beautiful mums on the block. Why don't you teach other people how to get those mums, right? You know, there's always this like flower flower envy across the street, right? Or maybe um, you're so good at like teaching somebody how to do math. Maybe you're really good at understanding how to teach fractions to children. Like, why don't you monetize that? Okay. Maybe you love creating, I don't know, what do you call those things? Lesson plans as a teacher. But you just think, well, I like it. I kind of enjoy it. And people say, I would love to pay you to create my lesson plan. So what is it that you've been told like people to you should make some money at that. You're so good at it, right? Write down some ideas. Number 5, what do you do most? What do you enjoy doing most, either personally or professionally? Now you could say, well, I love laying on the beach. Okay, there might be a way to monetize that. Maybe you can go and review beaches, or maybe you can review beach chairs or beach restaurants. Who knows? Maybe you could read beach books and put out a synopsis of what they're about. So don't judge it. Just write it down, right? What do you enjoy doing most, either personally or professionally? Maybe you like to run. Maybe you like to read. Maybe you love to write. Maybe you like to write in your blog, right? Why not monetize that? Maybe you have some things that you do for your day job that you really enjoy. I'm sure there's parts you don't enjoy, but there might be parts that you really love. People will say, could you organize this for me? And be like, oh, I love to organize, I would love to do that part of the job. Maybe you love to create events, like, okay, we're having a corporate luncheon. We don't have a lot of time. Would you mind planning it? I would love to plan that, right? So what is it that you enjoy doing most, personally or professionally? And jot down some ideas. Number 6, what would you do if money were no object? So close your eyes for a second. Just imagine the calling out those lottery numbers, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just won $90 million. What am I going to do tomorrow? Right? What if money were no object? If I just won $90 million, I would not have to go to work if I didn't want to, right? So would you still go to work? I don't know. That's up to you. And I know you'd be like, well, I'll pay off all my debt. I'll buy myself a new house. Maybe I'll buy a beach house. I'll get my mom and dad a house. I'll get a new car, buy new clothes for myself and my children, my family. Take a trip maybe. Okay, you get all that out of the way. You still have like $88 million left. What are you going to do? Right? What would you do if money were no object? Would you work for a charity? Would you still continue your job? Would you start that new business that you wanted? Would you actually launch your course, right? So what would you do if money were no object? And write down a few ideas. Number 7, if you are so engrossed in a job or a task that you completely lose track of time, forget to eat, forget to do everything, probably forget your kid at school, what is it that you're doing at that time? And I know we've all done that, right? I have jogged to the school because I'm like, oh my gosh. So what is it that you're doing at that time that you're so engrossed in? That means something that's really taking your attention, your focus, but that you're enjoying. Jot down a few ideas. Okay, on the next page, we're going to kind of put those together. Okay, so when you jot down all the different answers to those questions, we want you to just to sort of review your responses and see if there's any similarities, right? Here's some things that you can look for. Is there a specific skill or task or a particular subject or area that's listed a bunch of different times? And are some of the skills needed to do that similar, right? So you have these 4 tasks that you like to do, and the skills needed to do them are pretty similar, okay? Sort of note that on your sheet. Then look at the tasks that make you the happiest. And what are the skills that are needed for that? Are there any similarities in those tasks and the skills listed? So if you have a bunch of things that you list, and some of them you really don't love doing, but some you really like, and those also, the tasks that you have to do and the skills needed are kind of similar. So kind of note that down on your paper. And is there one skill or area, subject, or task that keeps showing up more than anything else? That you just, maybe it will be completely unexpected to you that, oh my gosh, I had no idea that I really enjoy doing that so much. All right, so we're going to give you about 5 minutes to work on this, and then we'll come back and move on to the next point. And at the end of this, you will be able to see probably one, maybe even more than one things that you really now know is your genius and your superpower, and maybe something that you want to share with the world and actually make some money on. Okay, so if you haven't done so already, just take about 5 minutes, answer the questions and go through them, the answers, see if there's any similarities in the tasks and the skills that you like. And let's see if we can hone in on what your genius and your superpower is. But listen, if you don't come to anything definitive yet, don't worry about it. We've got a lot more to go. And this is really just the very beginning. So jot it down and then we'll see you in the next slide. Okay, so hopefully you did the exercise to just uncover your genius and your superpower. And if you came up with anything great, or even if you don't think it's great, but we probably will, just put it in the comments or send us a DM or something and let us know, what you came up with, because we love to see how people's brains start to generate ideas. Now, you have this great idea and you're thinking, oh, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to teach underwater basket weaving. Everyone's going to want to learn underwater basket weaving, right? Well, maybe not. Well, we need to find out if that idea, if that little niche that you decided to go into is going to be profitable out in the marketplace, right? We have to see if anybody's looking for it. So here's what you do to validate your idea. And again, we have a worksheet at the end of this, so you can just kind of go through this information or take a screenshot or just go back a page when you get to the worksheet and jot down these things, because this one's going to take you a little bit more time. We'll give you a few minutes now, but you may have to do a little bit more research later. So here's what you want to do to validate your idea. See all the words listed on the left, Google Trends, you have that asterisk. Those are like search engines. And the ones on the right are more like social, like, you know, you're not really searching for information there. You might be looking for stuff, but you're not like putting something in a bar and searching for the information. On the left side, you are. So it's a different way to look for things. So first place you want to go, right? Everyone says, go ahead and Google it. So go to Google and type in your idea. Now you're going to see something happen when you do that. Because it's a search engine, you're going to start typing in and it's going to start populating the most common things that people are searching for. Like you might put down how to create, and then suddenly you'll see these things start coming up. Might say online business, or PDF document, or it might say PowerPoint, or go a little further, how to create an underwater, and then it might be playground or Photoshop, whatever whatever it is that's going to start coming up in the Google search. And those are things you want to note down if they coincide with what your idea is. So if you put your idea in and it starts to populate other things that people are asking about that subject, that's a good sign, by the way. If people are asking about the subject, it's a really good sign. So you're going to jot down those ideas. Same thing in Google Trends. You want to see what's trending. So maybe your idea is right on the cutting edge, right? Maybe it's going down trend. Well, that may be an indication maybe it's not time to do it right now. So you want to also put your idea into Google Trends and see how it's trending. The third search place you want to go to is Pinterest. Pinterest has tons and tons of information there. And people are putting in, how do I cook salmon, right? How do I, thread a needle? How do I create a PowerPoint presentation? So Pinterest is another search engine. We don't think of it the same way as Google, but it kind of is. It's just a little bit more fun. And you can see if anyone is searching for your idea in Pinterest, how to create an online course. You put that in Pinterest, there's going to be people searching for that. And what you want to look for are the exact words that people are using to search for that, because that's going to be gold for your marketing and your content. So jot down that information. Same thing in YouTube. YouTube is a search engine. I believe it's the second largest search engine in the world. Because people are going there to find out stuff. Sometimes you go to YouTube to watch silly videos, but that's really more for, when you're on your phone or something like that. But YouTube is, they call it YouTube University. You can learn how to do anything. I bought this dog kennel and it came with terrible instructions. So guess what? I went to YouTube, I put in the make and the model, and don't you know, there was a video on how to put this thing together. Very helpful. So type your idea into YouTube. You're going to see the same thing happen. It's going to start populating what people are searching for into the category. Or you're going to see what people are searching for, that it's popular, and maybe you want to shift your idea for your product or your course. But in YouTube, you'll find out, is anyone searching for this? If people are searching for it, that's a good thing. There's another site that you may or may not know about. It's called Answer the Public. And you go to the answerthepublic.com, and you'll see a search bar. You'll see a guy standing there, kind of a weird, you don't like weird thing, like winks at you or something. And you'll see a search bar, and you get 2 free searches. So choose them wisely. Every day you get 2 free searches, so you could go back tomorrow and do the same thing. But type your phrase in, your idea in a way that you'd be like, let's say, if I wanted to say, how to learn to play guitar, right? Let's put that in. You're going to see all the ways, the exact phrases that people are searching for this in Google. So why is this important? Well, because you could think that people are looking for how to play guitar, and really what they're searching for is how to play guitar chords to make it easy. So Answer the Public is very powerful in that. And it gives you so much information. It's hard to explain the whole thing here, but if you put that phrase in, it'll, all of a sudden you'll see all this information there. And it color codes it so the darker the color, that means that more people are looking for it. Then the lighter the color, the less people. And you can jot all that stuff down. You can actually print it out. So look for, it'll first show up like in a circle form, like around this circle, which makes it fun to look at. But if you want to get it in a way that's easier to print, just click on the data button and you can print it out in a column form. It's not as cool looking as the other way, but it is easier to print. So that's a great place. And those are the exact phrases and terms and words that people are using to search on Google for whatever information is you want. Okay, so now those are the search engine part. Then we're going to get to the Facebook groups and pages and Instagram and etc. So you're going to go to Facebook pages, type in your subject, see if anything comes up. If nothing comes up, there are no Facebook pages on that subject, I would move to another subject or tweak it. Maybe go back to your search engine places and see if people use a different phrase. And you're going to do the same thing in Facebook groups. Are there groups about this? And if there are, perfect. And if you can jot down the pages that do have this information or the groups that do have this information, and maybe who runs them, you can use that later on in trying to maybe cooperate or work a deal with somebody else to do some things in their group and swap it out. Now, same thing on Instagram. Is there anything on Instagram? Are there any profiles on Instagram that are talking about your subject? If not, I mean, come on, you better go somewhere else because it's probably not out there. It's probably not an interesting enough subject if nobody's looking for it on Instagram, right? Same thing on TikTok, especially if you're in the younger generation. Check TikTok and see if anybody is talking about your subject. Clubhouse, that's kind of new to the scene, right? If you haven't been on Clubhouse yet, I totally recommend it. You can find a group for anything there, and you can start a group. It's like a total level playing field in Clubhouse, and very interesting. It's only audio, no video. So if you're shy about being on video, you can wear your pajamas and do Clubhouse. So go to Clubhouse, just go in the search and see if there's any, you know, people doing rooms about your subject. Are there rooms on underwater basket weaving? So Clubhouse is a little bit newer, so you might not see as many rooms or as many groups or as you would see on Facebook or Instagram, but you probably will see something about it. Maybe you teach meditation. You'll definitely see something on that. Maybe you're interested in real estate. You'll definitely see stuff on that. So you can go on Clubhouse and find that. And by the way, if you're on Clubhouse, then follow us at Dynamic Business Building. And we would love to have you join in our club. The next place to look is go into Amazon and just type in, go to the book section. Actually, it could be anywhere in Amazon, and type in your subject and see what comes up. Hopefully some books come up. Maybe some products will even come up in the category. But if books do come up, you want to check, you can go into the book. The nice thing about Amazon, you can sometimes go see the table of contents. And if you check into the table of contents, then you can see the different areas of that particular subject and maybe give you some ideas on what you can also cover when you're doing your course. Of course, we're not going to take anybody's information, right? We're just going to get the idea of it, and then we're going to put it in our own way and make it our own. The next place you can look is blogs, right? Are there any blogs on my subject? Does anybody want to know how to create underwater baskets? How to weave underwater, right? Maybe there's a blog on that. Maybe not. If not, if there's no other information anywhere else and nobody else wants that information, it's probably not a good course. But if you wanted to do a course on how to create content for social media, I bet there's a couple of blogs on that. And I bet there's the same thing with podcasts. So you want to check just all these areas, jot them down, the names of them. If you get any ideas or inspiration from there, then jot them down as well. So why are we having you gather all this information? Well, because you're going to take this information and put it into what becomes your perfect product zone. Because in order to have a good product, you have to, one, have a passion for it, have an interest in it. And if you don't have a passion or interest in it, you're probably not going to make a great business out of it, only because you're going to not really feel like doing it on those days when you don't feel like doing it. So, but if you love something and you're interested in it, you're going to have more, you'll be more apt to get out of bed in the morning and work on it, even when you don't feel like it. The second part is, are you good at it? Some people would love to teach how to play guitar or would love to teach someone how to sing, but they're not good at it. So, what good is that? You have to be good at it in order to be able to teach it. Now, you don't have to be perfect at it yet. You can learn it. You just have to stay a step ahead of your class, right? So it's like the history teacher that is thrown into the classroom. They used to be a science teacher, but now they need a history teacher. So they're thrown into the classroom. And as long as they stay 1 week ahead of their class, they'll be good. And then the next time they go around, they'll have all the information. So do you have a passion for it? Do you have interest in it? And are you good at it? The third thing, and that's what we're checking with the validating the niche, right? Is there a market for it? If there's a great market for it, and you're good at it, and you're passionate about it, then that is your perfect product zone. That's the indication that you're going to have a great product. So now take all the information we've been working on, your genius, your superpower, what you enjoy doing, what you're good at, and then blend it with if there's an actual market for that. And if there is, then what you create what's called your perfect product zone. So take about 5 minutes to work on that, and we will see you on the next slide. Now we're going to work on trying to figure out who is your ideal client. Now, why do I need an ideal client? I just want somebody who has a wallet and a pulse and will buy my product. Yeah, it sounds like that's true, but that's not really true. That might be true for the big guys like Walmart and Coke and McDonald's, but it's not true for small business. We have to be more selective about who we're going to market to. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of time and money if you're putting out, ads and stuff like that. So we want to know who is your ideal client? Who is it? Then when you're thinking about creating something there in your mind, you want to have like a Susie or you want to have like a Joe. And you could have one of each maybe, okay? But you want to have somebody that when you're creating a product, you're thinking just about them. So you're going to take this information, we're going to answer these questions and think about very specifically who is your ideal client. Now, some of you may have already have business, and so you may think about who's my favorite client? I would love a whole practice of them, or I would love a whole shop full of them because they're amazing. So jot down the information with them in mind. But if not, if you're just starting from nothing, think about who it is that you want to work with. Okay, so the first question we're going to ask is, what is the age or the age range of your ideal client? Try to keep it small. You know, Tikwa loves to hone it in on one age. Like, so is it 35? Not 35 to 55. Is it 35? And you know what? You're going to be working with people of all ages probably, but your main focus is going to be on who it is that you're trying to attract, right? So write down what's the age of your ideal client. What's their relationship status? Are they married? Are they single? Are they divorced? Are they widowed? You know, what is their relationship status? Because it makes a difference. If somebody's single, they don't have to ask a partner to, you know, join in on a decision about spending some money. But if you're in a relationship, if you have a partner or a spouse, then you have to probably, you know, run it by them if you're going to spend $1,000 or, you know, or make some big decision, even a small, you know, not too big of a decision, but you have to run it by your partner. And that makes a difference when you're putting out marketing. Does your ideal client have children or not? Again, if they don't have children, well, if your product is for children, you're not going to be marketing to them. So you really want to know, does your ideal client have children or not? And probably what their ages are. What type of career does your ideal client have? Are they somebody working from home? Are they out in the corporate world? Are they in their own small business? Do they, you know, run a cafe? What kind of type of career does your ideal client have? And where do they live? Do they live in the city? Do they live in the suburbs? Do they live out in the country? Do they live in Europe? Do they live in the United States? Where does your client live? This is a biggie. What are they worried about? This information is going to be very helpful to you when you do your marketing and your content creation. What are they worried about? What is keeping your ideal client up at night? When they're sitting at the kitchen table, either by themselves with their head in their hand or talking to their partner, what is it they're discussing that's got them worried? What is the problem that they want solved? Then on the opposite side of that, what is their desire? Usually it's the opposite side of the problem. So if they're worried about debt, their desire is to be financially free or financially stable. You know, if they're worried about where they're going to send their kids to school, right? The desire is to be able to afford a great school in a great neighborhood. You know, if they're worried about having to pay taxes, penalty on taxes, the desire is to get their taxes done and paid on time. So what are they worried about? Number 6, what is their problem? What is they call a pain point? And then number 7, what is the desire, which is the opposite of the pain point? What will your ideal client not buy from you? Right? Like what? That's an interesting question. You know, if you are, you know, some kind of let's see, if I were to say that I'm a great gardener, I am probably not going to sell health products, right? So somebody's not going to buy something from me that's health related if my forte is gardening. So what would your ideal client not buy from you? What fear or frustration would they gladly and quickly pay you to go away? And I promise you, I just had this happen today. We bought this dog kennel. I think I mentioned it earlier. And my sons put it together, the framework of it, pretty quickly. I was really impressed. They did such a great job. And it took maybe a couple of hours. But then came the fencing. And that we put the little fencing on the door That took like an hour itself. At that point, we said, no, we have to find somebody who can do this quickly and I will pay them to have it done. And it took a while to find somebody. They finally came today. And you know what? When I tell you 1 hour and 15 minutes and they were done. Fence on, all hooked up, all secured, moved into place, roof put on, done. This is a pretty big kennel. It's 'cause pretty big dogs. So that was my frustration, right? It wasn't a fear, but it was a frustration for me that I was gladly and quickly paid them to do the job. So what is your ideal client's fear or frustration that they would gladly and quickly pay to have go away? What is your ideal client's disposable income? Do they have any? If they're if you're living like, what hand to mouth, um, maybe you can't spend $1,000 on a course. What is your ideal client's disposable income? But that's okay. Maybe you want to create a product that's on the lower end, which is fine. People do very well with $27 products, $47 products. So you don't have to always be real high end, but you do need to know if your client has any disposable income. And if they have a lot of disposable income, then they may be interested in a bigger ticket item like, one-on-one coaching or an immersion event where you get everything done like in a weekend. Number 11, do you have any interests or hobbies that might connect you with them? Do you both love to run? Do you both love to ski? Do you both love health and fitness? Do you both love, organic gardening? Do you both love playing the guitar? What is it that you have in common with them? And this is probably the most powerful thing. Describe your ideal client after he or she works with you. What has changed? What has improved in their life? What result have you gotten for them? And they're so happy and so enthusiastic about and so grateful to you for finding you because they may be like down on their knees praying like, I just need an answer to this. And lo and behold, here comes your course. Maybe that course was the answer. And now they got the result they wanted, and you actually made such an impact in their life. Describe that. Describe that. 13. What conclusions can you make about who your target market and ideal client is? After getting all this information, thinking about it, or using, existing clients for it, what conclusions can you make about who your target market is and your ideal client? And 14, why are you the right person or the right product or the coach or trainer for this ideal client? Why you? What makes you the one that could help them? Jot it down. And the last question here is, name your ideal client. Like I said, is it Susie? Is it Joey? Name the ideal client. Go to Google and see if you can just find a picture that depicts them. So if you have, if it's Susie and she's 42 years old and she's married with, older children, type that into Google and you'll see what pops up. Take a picture there and keep it on your wall. And now every time that you're creating something, some content, some product, some idea, some marketing, you're going to be thinking about Susie or Joey, and you're going to be creating that with them in mind. And you can say like, I don't think Susie would like that. Then don't do it. But Susie would love this. Go ahead and do it. We're going to give you a few minutes to work on that. I think it's going to take a little bit more than 5, but take as long as you need because this is a really important part. You really want to know who it is that you want to target and market to and have as your ideal client. So just take a few minutes here and jot down the answers to your questions, and we'll see you on the next slide. Okay, so now we're going to put it all together, and it's not going to cost you an arm and leg. All of these things that we talk about to use to create and launch your course, you already have them at your disposal, and they're free. Now, some of them have, different platforms that you can upgrade to and pay a little bit of money, but you don't have to start there. You can start totally for free. So here's what we recommend putting it together. You're going to create a course, you know what you're going to teach, you know who you're going to teach it to. You have a general idea of what you're going to teach. We're not telling you to get it all done, solid, concrete. No, that's not how we teach it. We teach doing it beta style. And what you need is a Facebook group. Now, if you have a Facebook page, you can create a Facebook group. And the reason you want a Facebook page, so there's a profile, that's your personal, you know, where you put your pictures of your kids and your crazy cats and things like that. And then you can have a Facebook page that's business oriented. Now you need a Facebook page if you want to do Facebook ads. And then you can create a Facebook group. And the group will be, you make it for your class, you're going to make it private. You can have a public group as well, but for the class, you're going to have it private. And you're going to, this is going to be where you're going to put the announcements, the homework. This is where people are going to put their answers, their questions, the things they've worked on, the wins that they've had, the struggles they're having. This is where you're going to have your community. It's really powerful and it's free. The second thing you're going to have is Zoom, right? You can use also Google Meets, Google Meetings, I think it's called. It doesn't matter, whichever one you want to use is fine. There's a free version. Now, if you want to do, I think it's over 40 or 45 minutes, then you probably have to do the paid version. But you don't need to do that, right? You can do the Zoom meeting. And this is where you're going to have your live beta course. So you're going to teach your lesson live, and you're going to record it, and then you can put it up in your group. So if somebody misses it, they can go back and watch it. And this is going to be where you hold your, then you can have interactive lessons. That's what a beta is so fun about. You are teaching them and they're giving you like on the spot live feedback. And so you're learning from each other. It's the power of a beta course, which is what we recommend. If you have everything, all your ducks in a row and every single little piece of paper and every video done, then you don't have any room to pivot. And you want room to pivot because you want to see what people actually want to learn. Not what you think they want to learn, but what they actually want to learn. Okay, third thing is a smartphone or a computer. I promise you, you probably have some kind of a phone. A smartphone is obviously easier because you can do video on it, but you can use a computer as well. You probably already have that. They're not free, but you probably already have it. You don't have to go out and buy it. If not, you know, maybe you have to put a little money into that. But I would assume that you probably have a phone or an iPad or computer of some sort. The fourth thing is Google Drive. That doesn't cost anything. This is where you can store Google Docs, where you can make your documents. Google Drives, where you can upload everything, upload your videos, upload your documents, and have everything stored there for free. The fifth thing is a payment processor. Now, these are, you do get charged a fee once you use them, but it doesn't cost you anything to have it. So you can use PayPal. Everybody knows and trusts PayPal. You can use Stripe, which makes taking money very easy online. They have all sorts of things you can do now with your phone, Venmo, Cash App, those kind of things. Any of these things, they don't cost you any money up front. They will take a percentage. That's the price of doing business. Now you can go old school and just take checks. That is totally up to you. You need an email marketing platform because we haven't talked about it in this particular course yet, but collecting emails is one of the most important things that you can do. That email list is an asset in your business, a very valuable asset. So you can start with MailChimp, MailerLite. These platforms have a free version. Are they limited? Yes, that's okay. You probably can get like 2,000 people on your list. That's okay. That's a good start, right? So get an email marketing platform, MailChimp, MailerLite. And then there's Canva, which is like Tikwa and I's favorite place to put work together. Like you can make everything in Canva. You can make every post that you need. You can make journals. You can make presentations. You can do everything you need to do in Canva. And they have a free version, which is very robust. So these are the things that you need to get started. None of them cost you anything. None of them are really high tech. And with a little bit of a learning curve, you can learn how to use any of these. Now, You have the basic steps to create your online course. You know your superpower and your genius. You have validated your idea so that you know that it could be successful out in the marketplace. You have an idea who your ideal client is. And you know all the components you need to actually launch your course, the platforms, Facebook groups and email, etc. And now you have a decision to make. And the way that we see it, you have two choices. Choice number one, the long and winding road. This is the DIY version, the do-it-yourself. And we know that if you continue to work on what we started today, you superpower your ideal client, validating your niche, and using all the tools that we talked about, then you're already off to a great start. But it will take some time to put it all together. But just like a long and winding road, eventually you can get to your destination. But there is another choice. You can pick choice number two. Choice number two, the super highway. This is the done with you version, the DWY. To get this done fast, you need more than information alone. If all it took was information, then we could go to Google. But it takes more than information. You need a step-by-step system. You need someone to answer your questions. You need encouragement and support when it gets difficult. You might need some help in the accountability department too. What you really need is a GPS. So that's why we've developed the Course Creation GPS to help you create your course one step at a time. Because just like the GPS in your car, when you put in a destination to get to, it does not tell you all of the directions at the same time. It tells you one step at a time. And that's how we've created this course, so that you can easily, seamlessly flow from where you are to completing your destination. So what does GPS stand for? Well, the G is for your genius. That's your knowledge, your experience, your expertise. We already talked about that. P is for your passion. What do you love? What are your interests, right? We've already talked about that. And S is the step by step. And that's where we go over one direction at a time, how to get you from where you are to having your online course completed. Here's what you will get. 6 value-filled and action-packed modules, weekly interactive Q&A and office hours via Zoom, video tutorials of the harder-to-learn concepts, all the downloadable templates and worksheets that you need, a private Facebook group for ongoing support and community, and lifetime access to all the information. Now, obviously, we're not going to charge you $4,082. But if we did charge you $4,082 and all it did was show you exactly how to get your online course out into the marketplace, would it be worth it to you? Or if all it did was show you how to get it all done, even if you're not technical, would it be worth it? And as if that wasn't amazing enough already, we have a fantastic bonus to offer to you. The bonus is a 30-minute coaching session with both Tikwa and Mary. This is so valuable because you will have an opportunity right there in person to get your specific questions answered and create an action plan for what to do and how to do it. So to recap, here's what you will get. The 6 modules, the weekly interactive Q&A, video tutorials, downloadable templates and worksheets, a private Facebook group, and lifetime access to all the information. Plus this amazing bonus, a 2-on-1 30-minute coaching call with Tikwa and Mary. I mean, that's 2 people for the price of 1. That's a pretty good deal. And because we are on a mission to help you be ready when the new year starts, when that ball drops and the new year clicks in, we want you to hit the ground running. So we are giving a special discount today. So instead of $4,332, which would be the value, or the soon-to-be $997 intended price, For the new year, get it today and create your course for New Year's for only $397. That's like a $600 savings. Go to either of the links below. One is if you'd like to do 2 equal payments, and that's like, we've never done that before, so it's a great opportunity. Or if you go to the second link, that's the one payment of $397. So the 2 payments would be of $204 each, and the one payment would be $397. Let us be your guides. Join the Course Creation GPS. We take our job as coaches very seriously. We will show you step by step how to plan out your course and create your roadmap to success. And it would be our honor to help you positively impact the world with your genius. Let's get your gift shared with the world. And of course, we have a 100% money back guarantee. So we want you to be ecstatically happy with what you learn in this course. So for any reason you're not happy with Course Creation GPS, we will gladly refund your money within 30 days of purchase. So just think about this. Is it worth gambling a few weeks of your time to check this out? Even if it takes twice as long as we say, it will pay for itself with your first handful of new clients or sales. And with our 100% money back guarantee, you literally have nothing to lose. But don't delay, because since this very special offer is a gift, it will only be available at this crazy low price for a limited time. So why not get started today for $397? Remember, you also get a cool 30-minute call with Tigwa and Mary. You can get the 2 equal payments, or you can get the 1 payment. Either way, you're going to love what you create. We're always here to help, and we can't wait to hear about your success. Just like the other students who were just like you, and just like us at the beginning, who struggled with creating their online course until they used their GPS. Thank you so much for watching. We look forward to working with you and can't wait to see you on the inside. Have a wonderful day. If you do have any questions, you can post them in the Dynamic Business Building Facebook page, and we'll answer them as soon as we can. Meanwhile, thanks again for listening and have a wonderful day.